What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gotzi for Pro Football Exclusive. Thank you so much for checking out tonight's video. Now tonight, guys, I'm here doing episode 2 of 4th and Loud, which is a documentary on the Los Angeles Kiss. It is a Arena Football League team. I follow the Arena Football League ever since I was a young kid. And if you guys are new to my YouTube channel, I have interviewed a couple of guys I'm going to be talking about here in this video that appeared on the documentary tonight. One being Kenny Spencer. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, Pro Football Exclusive, make sure you guys go back and watch my interview with Kenny Spencer. Now, when we left off in the last episode, it's pretty much getting familiar to know the team. You know, Coach Bob McMillan, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, pretty much introducing the entire episode because it's episode 1. So you're looking to build. You see, what's the mentality like. So going into episode 2, well, episode 1 left us off with a lot of big losses. Colt Brennan's head injury. He was profiled a whole lot in that episode. It's all about who's going to be profiled in episode 2. I've been, ranting and raving and just wanting to watch episode 2 for the longest time now. Episode 1 has, kept me in because I love the way how they're bringing it in. It's getting away from just training camp. It's bringing you inside the actual season. The NFL does Hard Knocks. This 4th and Loud could be something that's going to be, a big project, and I think that could be, a continuous thing for AMC and the Arena Football League. Doing this, during the season for Arena Football team will be great. It tells you, what's the day-to-day operations for the Arena Football League, and this is getting very, very mind-blowing right now because you know how hard it is, because you think the NFL coaches have a hard time. The Arena Football League coaches have an even harder time because they have to work with guys who come off the street. Most of them, you don't have that much experience in the sport of football, so they're taking guys, with chance here off the street. So it's very, very mind-boggling, and we're now getting that here in this episode. There's 3 things I'm primarily going to be covering in this episode because it really evolves around who's going to be making the team. And the big guys being profiled in this episode was B.J. Bell, who plays, nose guard. He also plays, he plays around the field, but primarily he plays nose guard. Joe Mortensen, who was originally a linebacker, he was going to be converted over to a fullback. Now, during the episode, Joe Mortensen, he was a big prime subject throughout this entire episode as, they, sat him down. Coach Bob McMillan and his staff said they're going to sit him down, and he said, listen, you're not going to make this team as a linebacker. They have 2 linebackers already set because they play inside linebacker, and, Joe Mortensen's current ability is not that great to play linebacker. The inconsistency and everything like that, that's affecting Joe Mortensen right now. But they're going to convert him over to the offensive side of things and play fullback. And he's going to be competing off against Jeff Toe Arnett, who is a Arena Football League veteran. So, it starts building up a lot of suspense. So, throughout the entire episode, they're counting down, they're looking at they're scouting the guys, who's going to make the final cut. Other guys on the roster bubble was B.J. Bell. B.J. Bell, like I said, plays the nose guard position. The team actually went into a scrimmage game against the San Jose SaberCats. So, B.J. Bell, they can only take a certain amount of players into that game. B.J. Bell ends up being left behind on this episode. He said it's very hard for him to just sit back. He didn't want to go back to doing it because he feels that he's not able to really, show what he can do. He's been really improving a whole lot. He wants to get better. Inconsistency on his part has, that's what Coach Bob McMillan has said, and that has caught up to him. So B.J. Bell was not, invited to go on this, scrimmage game against San Jose for this week, but they decided to let him stay behind, learn the playbook a little bit more, and hopefully something will turn out for the best. Now, during this game, it's very, very complicated for Jeff Toe Arnett, as Coach Bob McMillan throughout the entire episode is just thrashing him. He wants to do something, he wants to do, his way, and he's been costing the team big time throughout the entire scrimmage against San Jose. Poor blocking, being completely dominated by the defensive line of the SaberCats. He's being thrown into, J.J. Ratterink, who's not getting that enough time in the pocket, or venture outside the pocket. He's being thrown around and being pushed into Ratterink, and that, builds up to the final cuts. And that will cost Jeff Toe Arnett his starting job and be given to Joe Mortensen, who wants to have this job. So they sat down Jeff Toe Arnett. He was not happy at all, and he says, they brought me in here because they want to see, a top level player to play for this team. They really need that big player name. That big name has been playing arena football for a while. That big, lengthy veteran, and that's what Jeff Toe Arnett has been doing throughout his entire Arena Football League career. Joe Mortensen, primarily a defensive player. He's making that he's converting over to fullback. He's only been playing the position for about 3 days, according to this episode. So it's very hard for him to make that big transition from being a permanent linebacker throughout his AFL career, or early going to his AFL career, making that jump over the fullback. It's very hard for him to do so. So they decided to roll with it, and they're going to have to, use this time, off the field, get used to the playbook. What's it like to be a fullback? Because Coach Bob McMillan was probably the best fullback in arena football of the entire history. So he's going to be learning under him. So that's very great for him to do. And Joe Mortensen, is going to be coached by this is probably the best fullback we've ever seen in arena football, in head coach Bob McMillan. So after that's being done, other cuts have happened. They didn't really profile the big name cuts on the actual episode, but B.J. Bell wins the starting nose guard job, and he's been on the roster about the entire show. That's the biggest thing. He wants to be playing with his brother Bo Bell, who is a former NFL player. He's now making the transition over to the Arena Football League as well, and that's their biggest dream, is to play on the same field together. So Coach Bob McMillan and his coaching staff are willing to give BJ that opportunity to be that starting nose guard, and I would really want to see Bo Bell in future episodes, see how he fits into this job, because I watched some LA Kiss games throughout the entire year. I've been primarily watching it on highlights, so I'm hopefully to see how well BJ develops more as a player, and hopefully in the mind as like a football smarts, see how well BJ works with the nose guard job, and because watching those small little clips that they have during their practices does not really guarantee you okay, he's great, he's fantastic. You can see improvements. So B.J. Bell gets a job as a starting nose guard, and also Jeff Toe Arnett was cut by the team, and Joe Mortensen wins his job. The second thing going on in this entire episode was Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley unveiling the new helmets. We all know how the helmets look if you've been watching the arena of the LA Kiss throughout the entire AFL season. It's the flames on the face masks, there's flames on the helmets, and it says LA Kiss on the back. Very stylish helmets, and overall the jerseys are very, very fantastic. I think a lot of people really underestimate on how awesome these jerseys look. I'm actually going to think about buying one of these jerseys one day, possibly before the start of next season, because I'm just overall a huge Arena Football League fan. I don't care what jersey I get. I have about 3 or 4 AFL jerseys in my closet as we speak, but the entire thing looks great, but you know what? They want to bring something new. They want to bring in, the non-sports fans, fans who are fans of the LA Kiss, to be part of their entertainment during the games. And when you're having, an NFL game, or any sort of football game, you have like a good halftime show. You have to have something. NFL does it, for the Super Bowl. LA Kiss wants to treat every single game like it's a Super Bowl. Have them have a Super Bowl halftime show where it's just fantastic. It'll keep the fans coming to the games, want to be a part of like a Kiss concert. That's what they want to do. Pyros, fire, everything like that. But due to a very, very small budget, they cannot afford everything. Now, during this, budget discussions, they decided to bring in a professionalist, in event planning and for the halftime shows and the after game shows and stuff like that. But this guy's talking about bringing in dirt bikers and guitar players, and putting all these into just one, a halftime show and an after show, and this is going to cost them $50,000 per game. And they were like, $50,000 per season? No, $50,000 per game. That's going to drain the entire organization of the LA Kiss. So that's still yet to be discussed. So hopefully that they pick that up during during episode 3, because that's going to be their first home game. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's this whole halftime show. What are they going to do? What's the budget for them for each game throughout the entire season. So hopefully we can get more information on that. The last and final thing about this episode was the ending. They only had 10 minutes at the end of the show where they really highlighted the first game of the season. They were on the road against the San Antonio Talons, and this was not the greatest starts to the game for the LA Kiss. JJ Radarik in the first half was just not playing up to par. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, not the greatest performance. Coach Bob McMillan was just ripping his hair hair out. They were just not. It was not a consistent enough game, so they were hopefully to rebound it. And in the last quarter, with just about a minute or so left, a late game interception in the fourth quarter gave the Kiss a chance to win with just 5 seconds. With just 5 seconds left, they picked off the ball, and it set up a game-winning field goal by my former interviewee, Kenny Spencer, who has just been clutch throughout anywhere he's gone in the Arena Football League, from his time with the New Orleans Voodoo, from the time with the Spokane Shock. He's just had those clutch performances, and in this game against the San Antonio Towns, he got the clutch kick and won the game for the LA Kiss. Now, with the first game of the season under wraps, this is going to be building up for something going forward. It's going to be very, very interesting on, what's the direction going for the LA Kiss after this first game. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons were happy with the first victory because they cannot take the loss. Taking the loss, we all know what the future, is going to be planned out, record-wise for the LA Kiss if you follow them this year. We just have to wait and see in future episodes. But you know what? This is a great start to Fourth and Loud. The first 2 episodes were fantastic. I know you guys can keep on watching encores of the episode in case you missed it on AMC. I actually have the episode recorded. I'm probably ending up going back and watching at least 2 or 3 more times. I really love this show. If you guys, want to, walk away from Hard Knocks for like a day or so, you want to watch something new and still in the profile of football, go out and watch this on AMC. Fourth and Loud on AMC. New episodes every Tuesday. I am very excited for this. I think this is great from what the Arena Football League is doing with AMC. This partnership should continue to grow. Every single year, they should have a brand new Arena Football team, like following this team. What's the start from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And then we can just start all over again with a whole new Arena team, because everything changes from organization to organization to organization to team to team to team. So it's very, very interesting to see, what the future will be planned out for this episode, or for the future episodes of Fourth and Loud, and possibly the future of the entire Fourth and Loud. I think that could be something that they can keep the name and have future episodes. But overall, great episode 2 for Fourth and Loud. If you guys have not checked this episode out, I expect you guys to do so right now, and I hope to see you guys in future episodes and future episode recaps, I should say. So let me hear your guys' opinion about this. I'm Justin Gotzi for Pro Football Exclusive. Make sure you guys check out my other videos. Check out my interviews with AJ Cruz, a fellow LA Kiss kick returner, defensive back, and player. Also check out my interview with Kenny Spencer. Those are some 2 very great interviews I have done. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Make sure you also subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All the links are down below in the description box for you guys. I'm Justin Gotzi for Pro Football Exclusive, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.